Part 2. Deep Roots Escalation. The planet cracker was the size of a city block, moving fast enough to level mountains. It should have hit Chicago with nuclear force. Instead, it stopped 3 feet above Millennium Park, held by invisible forces while 6-year-old Emma Williams walked up and knocked on its hull. "Excuse me," she said politely. "You're scaring my friend Jake. Could you please stop trying to hurt our planet?" The world-killing device powered down and began playing what sounded like a lullaby. Morrison stared at the girl who had just negotiated with an extinction weapon. "Emma, how did you do that?" She looked at him with infinite patience. "I asked Earth to help, and it said okay. Adults never think to ask nicely." Title card. Part 2. Deep Roots. 030 to 300. Character stakes rise. Dr. Vasquez's evolution. Elena was having the strangest conversation with her ex-husband through a connection neither understood.
"Elena, I'm seeing through your eyes. What's happening to us? We're evolving in real time. The question is whether we're becoming better or no longer human. Remember when we argued about consciousness being emergent or fundamental? We were both wrong. It's contagious." Captain Chen's dilemma. Sarah stood on her bridge, watching Rodriguez coordinate 3 fleets through pure thought while crying tears of joy. "Rodriguez, report." "Ma'am, I feel every ship in the Pacific, not just ours, theirs too. I know what they're thinking, where they're going, what scares them." He looked up with eyes reflecting new depths. "Ma'am, I think I'm becoming more than human. Is that okay?" Chen considered the question. Was evolution acceptable if it was needed to protect your species? "Rodriguez, do you remember your mother's birthday?" "October 15th. She makes incredible tres leches cake." "Do you still love her?" "More than ever. But now I love everything. The whole planet. Everyone on it." "Then you're human where it counts. Everything else is upgrades." Morrison's family. Jackson was teaching Emma to communicate with crystalline structures, while Williams watched his daughter adapt to impossible circumstances. "Daddy, the light people want to know if humans are ready to take care of the big garden." "What big garden, sweetheart?" "The one with all the planets and stars. They've been waiting forever for helpers." Williams looked at Morrison. "Sarge, my 6-year-old is being recruited for cosmic landscaping. Could be worse. She could want to join the Marines." 3 to 8. Alien perspectives. Deeper confusion. Geltar medical breakdown. Medical Officer Thekaran was filing reports that challenged xenobiology. "Admiral, comprehensive analysis of human biology reveals impossible characteristics." "Specify."
They possess backup organs for their backup organs. This appendix isn't vestigial. It's an emergency immune system. Their bones self-repair and strengthen under stress. What evolutionary pressure creates such redundancy? Continue. They deliberately expose themselves to pathogens to strengthen immunity. They call it vaccination and treat it as routine medical care. They're intentionally evolving their immune systems. Anything else? Admiral, they consume bacterial cultures for pleasure. They call it yogurt and claim it improves health. Kethvar's compound eyes reflected growing unease. Alien botanical horror. Commander Zethral's science team was analyzing Earth's flora with mounting terror. "Admiral, this planet's plant life is actively hostile to most galactic species." Examples?
"These roses produce chemical warfare compounds in their defensive systems. Poison ivy causes severe chemical burns through skin contact. They cultivate an invasive species called mint, despite its aggressive territorial behavior. Yet humans coexist with this? More than coexist. They've domesticated these biological weapons and use them for decoration and food flavoring." Geltar cultural shock. Yilthek was trying to understand human entertainment with no success. "Admiral, the humans have created fictional scenarios designed to frighten themselves. They call them horror movies and consume them recreationally. They seek terror for enjoyment? Yes. They also form temporary pair bonds for recreational purposes, permanent bonds for resource sharing, and friendships that serve no biological function, yet are treated as survival necessities. This species makes no evolutionary sense. 8 to 13. Network integration. Collective consciousness grows.
Elena found herself simultaneously in Chicago, the Pacific, and Antarctica. Instead of overwhelming, it felt like seeing clearly for the first time. Sarah, I'm running calculations in 6 locations using hundreds of linked minds. We're becoming a computational network that makes supercomputers look like calculators. The implications are staggering. We're not just individuals anymore. We're nodes in a conscious system spanning the planet. But remarkably, humans retained individuality within the collective. Each mind remained distinct, contributing unique perspectives. Human adaptability, alien bewilderment. The Geltar were learning their intelligence was inadequate. Subject exhibits regenerative capabilities exceeding projections. Wounds requiring surgical intervention heal within hours through what subject calls getting pissed off about being shot.
Subject's skeletal density increases under stress. When threatened, bone structure becomes 30% harder through getting pumped up. Subject consumed capsaicin in lethal concentrations, survived, and requested more, claiming previous dose wasn't hot enough. Subject then shared personal supplies of higher concentration capsaicin. But the most disturbing, subjects form pack bonds with equipment and alien captors. 3 interrogation specialists requested reassignment to human relations. Chur 13 to 18. Gardeners reveal more. Deep underground. Theros manifested in the expanding central node, connecting facilities on every continent. The garden network spans 47,000 inhabited worlds. Each serves multiple functions: nurseries for developing species, processing centers for life energy, communication hubs. Elena, physically in Switzerland but mentally connected worldwide, asked, "What's Earth's function?"
Primary nursery for guardian species. Earth has produced 17 guardian species over 1 billion years. Humans are the 18th and most adaptable. Morrison's gruff presence carried protective concern. What happened to the other 17? They graduated, achieved full integration, and took responsibility for other nursery worlds. Some became watchers observing for threats. Others became builders creating new worlds. Still others became healers repairing damaged systems. And humans? Humans appear capable of all functions and more. You're the first species we've encountered that can simultaneously create and destroy, nurture and fight, cooperate and compete as needed. Geltar diplomatic crisis. Chen was having an impossible conversation with Admiral Kethavar. Admiral, your forces are experiencing philosophical complications because extended human contact is changing their worldview.
Captain, our civilization is built on efficient conquest and resource extraction. Your people have convinced my forces that cooperation might be more enjoyable. Ma'am, your soldiers discovered ice cream. That changes perspectives. Kethavar's mandibles clicked in embarrassed laughter. Captain, I have 17 formal requests from commanders for extended cultural exchange programs. They claim to research human tactical doctrine, but reports consist mainly of recreational activities and food preparation. We're a social species, Admiral. We solve problems by feeding people and making friends. This is not standard military behavior. No, ma'am, it's human behavior. 1800 to 2300. The real enemy emerges. Dimensional warnings. Human integration with the Garden Network revealed hidden problems. Theros, these energy readings aren't natural degradation. Someone's been systematically damaging the network. We've suspected for 50,000 years, but never had proof of deliberate sabotage. The patterns are subtle, but consistent. Critical junction points targeted for disruption, creating cascade failures weakening the entire system. This is military strategy. The Devourers stir. Chen detected them first through Pacific Fleet sensors. Contact bearing 090, range impossible. They're not coming from anywhere. They're emerging from nowhere. The ships violated physics. They seem made of crystallized emptiness, absorbing light and energy, leaving voids behind. Ma'am, those aren't ships. They're holes. Places where space stops existing. Theros' presence carried ancient dread. The Devourers. We hoped they were extinct. Human response to impossible. Morrison reacted like a Marine sergeant, by getting angry and making plans. Space monsters that eat reality. Question: weak points, and can we kill them?
Elena engaged scientifically. They exist partially outside our dimension, nearly impossible to destroy conventionally. But not impossible. Jake, they're not fully here, so they're not fully there either. They might be vulnerable at dimensional connection points. Chen added tactical thinking. We don't fight them in our space. We find their source and cut the connection. Morrison's response was direct. Outstanding. How do we get there, and what do we hit? 23 to 27. Alliance formation. Geltar choice. Admiral Keithvar faced her species' most important decision when Devourer energy signatures appeared. Sub-Commander, analysis of approaching vessels. Admiral, they're not vessels. They're entities existing in spaces between spaces, feeding on fundamental forces holding reality together. Threat assessment? If they reach inhabited space, they won't conquer. They'll unmake it. Every world, every species, every star will simply stop existing.
Keithvar opened communication to Chen. Captain, we face a common threat. Yes, ma'am. Humans have a saying about the enemy of my enemy. Full alliance is offered. Our technology with your creative problem-solving might address this threat. Admiral, we appreciate it. But humans don't do alliances halfway. Working together means trusting each other, protecting each other, sharing resources. Acceptable. It also means friendship. My people will want to introduce yours to pizza and baseball and teach your kids video games. Keithvar's mandibles clicked. Captain, my species could benefit from learning to play. 27 to 28. Cliffhanger, real war begins. Emma stood in Millennium Park, holding Morrison's hand, watching reality ripple as the Devourer fleet approached. Mr. Morrison, the light people are scared. What scares them, sweetheart? The dark people. They eat light and make things stop being.
Morrison looked at the girl who stopped planet crackers by asking nicely, Emma, could you ask them to stop eating reality? She considered gravely. I don't think they understand asking. They're too hungry to listen. Theros manifested beside them, dimmer than before. She's correct. The Devourers have been trapped outside their natural dimension for eons. They consume reality desperately, trying to tear passages back where they belong. So they're not evil, Emma said with child clarity. They're just lost and scared and hungry. Yes, child, but their hunger could destroy the galaxy before we help them. Morrison felt cosmic responsibility settling on his shoulders. A week ago, he worried about urban training. Now he was tasked with saving reality. All right then, he said, words that would become humanity's motto. Let's figure out how to help some lost space monsters get home before they accidentally eat the universe.
Above them, Devourer scouts reached Earth's atmosphere, and the real battle for reality began.